Welcome to the Florida scrub ecosystem at Archbold Biological Station on the Lake Wales Ridge of Central Florida. Together we're going to explore a true native of the Florida scrub. It's brash, boisterous, and blue. Any guesses? The Florida scrub jay! The story of the Florida scrub jay fascinates everyone with its tales of fire, hidden acorns, and ancient islands. As we explore deeper and deeper into the scrub, watch out for screen trivia like this. Florida scrub jays are intelligent birds with distinct raspy calls. They are closely related to crows, who are also super smart. Scrub jays are curious by nature. This curiosity lets us get close to appreciate them. Up close, we see the sky blue feathers on their head, wings, and tail, their blue-gray necklace and smoky gray body. Males and females look pretty much the same to us humans, although males are slightly bigger. Florida scrub jays are omnivores. Main menu items are insects and acorns. But scrub jays will also try to eat anything smaller than them, like lizards, small snakes, or mice. Scrub jays forage by hopping along the ground, inside shrubs, and on tree limbs. The scrub jay's long, muscular legs are perfect for hopping and weaving through the scrub. Insects become less abundant during Florida's dry winter, so scrub jays switch over to eating mostly acorns. But acorns are only available in the fall. So where do they find them in the winter? Well, scrub jays are so smart, they've developed a food storage solution. Jays pluck acorns from oak trees in the fall. Then they bury them individually in open patches of sand. One Florida scrub jay can cache around 8,000 acorns in a single fall. Caching is like canning or freezing seasonally available fruits and vegetables for later use. Scrub jays recover and eat most acorns from their secret subterranean stash. Pretty amazing, huh? Can you imagine burying 8,000 treats in the sand, coming back 6 months later to find them? I'm not sure I could do it with even one. Let's see if I can figure it out. Nope. Nope. 3 times charm. Florida scrub jays live year-round in family groups. Each family occupies and defends a home territory. Scrub jays know exactly where their territory ends and their neighbors begins. A sentinel scrub jay is always on the lookout and searching for trespassing neighbors and predators. The parent scrub jays will pair for life. During nesting season, the breeding female lays 3 or 4 blue-brown eggs in a nest cup about 2 to 5 feet high, often in a shrubby oak. Family members deliver protein-rich insects to the hungry little nestlings. If all goes well, young scrub jays fledge from the nest at 3 weeks old. But they're still fed by their parents and family helpers until they are almost 3 months old. Most young jays remain at home for 1 to 2 years, becoming family helpers. This is called cooperative breeding. For young birds, it's safer to remain at home and wait for a breeding opportunity nearby. Depending on the time of year, some of the family chores include 1. Find food for themselves and dependent young. 2. Harvest and store acorns. 3. Watch out for predators. And 4. Defend the family territory. Over the course of their life, most scrub jays never fly more than a mile or so from their parents' territory. From a good lookout perch, they can even see the bush where they hatched. Life is hard in the scrub, and working as a group makes it easier. The Florida scrub jay is the only bird 100% dependent on the Florida scrub for survival. But scrub is actually a mosaic of different habitats. Florida rosemary scrub, oak scrub, oak hickory scrub, sandhill, scrubby flatwoods, even seasonal wetlands and ponds. Florida scrub jays use all these habitats, but without open oak scrub, their populations would not persist. The telltale scrub jay behaviors and physical features that are so well suited to life in the low and open oak scrub do not work so well in overgrown oak forests. Plus, those forests already have their own resident jay, the blue jay. Ideal oak scrub for Florida scrub jays is about 3 to 10 feet tall, and it has low-growing oaks like this Archbold oak, and low-growing shrubs like this tar flower, low-growing palmetto like this saw palmetto. It has a scattering of pine trees and patches of open sand like this. We're in a perfect habitat for Florida scrub jays. First impression of oak scrub reveals a green tangle of twisted shrubs. But looking closer, pale green prickly pears burst yellow blooms in the spring. The black trunks of bright green saw palmettos resemble alligator backs arching over and under the sand. Each season of the year adds unique colors to the various shades of green. Most of these low-growing oaks and palmettos are very old, hundreds or thousands of years old. This tangled, ancient, colorful Florida scrub is home sweet home to the Florida scrub jay. Did you know that a scrub jay fossil with modern physical traits was found in Florida that dates back 2 million years ago? That is quite a lot of time to evolve unique behaviors and adaptations to a unique scrub home. Oak scrub needs fire about every 5 to 20 years to maintain ideal living conditions for scrub jays.
It's a 34 acres of scrubby flatwoods with a little bit of sand pine forest in it.
This is a prescribed fire, or controlled burn, set intentionally by skilled fire managers under very specific weather conditions. Fire is a very welcome and ancient process in the scrub. It's like a wild animal grazing on overgrown vegetation and depositing nutrient-rich ash. Scrub is so well adapted to fire that most plants and animals survive the heat and flames. Fire only kills the portion of the oak shrubs above the ground. The underground root system survives. Soon the oak shrubs will re-sprout. Time after time, beneficial fires sweep through the Florida scrub, keeping the scrub low and open. Scrub jays need that open ground to forage, cache acorns, and detect predators. Back in 1980, researchers were beginning to understand how crucial fire was to the scrub jays, but they had no idea how often the scrub should be burned. The researchers did what researchers do best: research. They selected a patch of scrub with 6 scrub jay families. They reasoned that if the scrub jays were dependent on fire, then the scrub jays would teach the researchers when it was time to burn the habitat. After 10 years without fire, the scrub had grown up tall and overgrown. The original 6 scrub jay families had dwindled to just 1. So what do you think the researchers did? They burned it. And within a year, new scrub jays began moving into the low and open scrub. Within 10 years, the study area was again home to 6 family groups. The population went through a cycle of growth and decline. It was next burned 20 years later, starting the whole cycle all over again. Like the Florida scrub jay, many Florida scrub plants and animal species do not occur anywhere else in the world. These unique species are well adapted to live with fire and the nutrient-poor sandy soils of the scrub. This sugar white sand resembles a sandy beach, right? Well, this area used to be a beach. Wait, what's a beach doing in the middle of Florida? 2 million years ago, and even more recently, the sea levels were much higher than today. Perched above the sea were these sandy islands of Florida scrub. Go for a walk or drive around. You'll appreciate the hilly landscape of the Florida scrub. These hills are the tops and bottoms of ancient coastal sand dunes. Today, sea levels are much lower. The modern coastline is far away. Much of Florida is flat, low-lying, and wet, but the Florida scrub stays relatively high and dry on these sandy ridges. Archbold sits on a large inland ridge called the Lake Wales Ridge. The Lake Wales Ridge is 116 miles long, extending down the middle of Florida from Orlando south to Archbold and Lake Placid. The Florida scrub jay wins the prize for living in one of the rarest and oldest homes in the world. So, how do we know so much about the Florida scrub jay? Hey, Jen, can you turn that off for a second? Wait, I think I see somebody. Yeah, it's the scrub jay crew with Reed. We know a lot about scrub jays because of long-term research done by biologists working at Archbold Biological Station. Since 1969, Archbold researchers have done monthly counts of every scrub jay in their study area. It is the longest running study of any marked wild bird in the world. Researchers find every nest, band every nestling that survives to 11 days old, and monitor their breeding success.
They're interested not only in the science of understanding their ecology and their evolution, but also traits of theirs that might help us preserve them and conserve them as their habitat is either degraded or lost. My name is Reed Bowman. I'm the director of the Avian Ecology Program at Archbold Biological Station. 7th primary, 80.
They know a lot about whole generations of scrub jays. The family lineages of some birds are known back to their great 13 times grandparents. Do you know your family tree that well?
He's got 2 siblings. The amazing thing is, you'd think after studying a bird for 46 years, we'd have answered most of the questions, but every time we answer a question, we raise 4 or 5 more. And so we actually have more questions now than we did when we started.
The Florida scrub jay is listed by the federal government as a threatened species. So research is very important for the survival of the scrub jay. Research provides necessary information to guide conservation and management of the Florida scrub jay and Florida scrub. Over the last 100 years, the total population of Florida scrub jays declined by 80 to 90%. Today, only about 2,000 to 3,000 family groups remain. Scrub jays are in decline because the Florida scrub is disappearing. Remember, no scrub jay. Biologists studied the decline of scrub jay populations in suburban scrub like this one. They compared scrub jays living in urban scrub with scrub jays living on protected and well-managed scrub, like at Archbold. This graph says it all. Over a period of 20 years, the scrub jays living in the suburbs declined by over 90%. But those in fire-maintained scrub stayed the same. The survival of the Florida scrub jay depends on how well people manage the remaining Florida scrub. Scrub needs protection, fire, and research. Here's another graph for you to consider. You see, the more time you spend getting to know the Florida scrub jay, the greater your appreciation will be. The next time you see some protected and well-managed Florida scrub? Remember the brash, the boisterous, and the blue Florida scrub jay, who is perfectly at home here in the Florida scrub.
If you put your cheek down on the sand and look up, scrub is an amazing forest full of diverse, large trees, which in fact are only 3 or 4 feet tall. But it's a fascinating ecosystem full of amazing plants and animals that are adapted to this low and open structure of Florida scrub. And so this is as much Florida's heritage as anything.